Shabbat Shalom. I'm looking out across the congregation and I'm wondering how many of you are avid Facebook followers? You may have noticed a post that came up this last week. Even perhaps if you don't follow Facebook, it made news and newspapers, if you remember what those are. It was a Chewbacca mask. Alright, so everybody knows Chewbacca, hopefully from Star Wars, the big hairy guy. Doesn't cough, just makes, noises. And there was a woman who went to a shop and she bought a Chewbacca mask. Mary knows it, alright? You saw this, of course. And she sat down in her car and she undid the wrapping right there, and she had her phone live streaming through Facebook. Facebook has this new feature. To all of her friends, her unpacking and putting on of the Chewbacca mask. You're all looking at me like, why would someone do this? This is part of the generation we now live in, where you've made a purchase and you want to share it with the world, and you're going to do it from your car. So, she puts it on, and starts laughing. Because it makes this incredible copy of the Chewbacca sound, and it's hinged, so that when you open your mouth, it makes the Chewbacca noise. Which, if you've ever tried to imitate Chewbacca's noise, you know it's almost impossible to actually make the Chewbacca noise. And so as she opens her mouth, it goes, whirr, and she starts laughing, but of course, as she's laughing, it causes the mouth to open again, and the noise comes out again, and it's mixing with her laughing, and it goes on for about 4 minutes like this, where she is just... Yes, I did. Purely for sermon material. Research for sermon material, absolutely. Absolutely, because it was totally captivating to watch her just revel in the pure, unadulterated joy of this silly thing on her face, and the noises it was making, and her fits of laughter and giggles blending together with the howls of Chewbacca. And a few million people have now seen it. This is, by definition, what they call going viral. And, in fact, it has gone so viral, like I said, it got well past Facebook and on into regular mainstream media. And Amazon is totally sold out of these Chewbacca masks. You can buy them, but they're now running about $200 through private third-party sellers. And she was contacted by the store that she bought it from, and she mentioned in her video, and they gave her tons of free stuff because you can't buy this sort of publicity. And it's been amazing. Why did everybody run out and buy one of these masks? Because it's funny. Yes, just make the Chewbacca noise. Well, it was kind of hard to tell between the Chewbacca noise and her laughing which was which. But as Miriam said, right, it's obvious. Everybody ran out to buy these because it was funny. So when everyone got their Chewbacca mask at home and they undid the box and they slapped it on their face, some of them having paid $200 for the privilege, they all had exactly as much fun as she had, right? No? Well, wait a minute. I thought the whole point was they bought it so they could have the experience she was having. They could have that laughter. They could have that joy. They could dissolve into tears with their face muscles aching from laughing for 4 minutes straight. I mean, when you watched her, it was infectious. You absolutely felt like laughing along with her. I will confess I did laugh with her. Not for all 4 minutes. But I did laugh with her. So why wouldn't I be buying this and slapping it on my face? Why would I not be able to then recreate the experience on demand for myself?
Well, the original poster, the girls off the stage posted it. It was a very natural sort of organic experience. These other people who spent $200 or $1,000 were off to buy jewelry.
You can't buy joy? Please, 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 do not tell the advertising agency this. Right? Because we are living in the world where joy is absolutely sold on shelves constantly. If you look at commercials, right? one of the major transformations of the commercials over the last 100 years of advertising history is we have gone from selling a product which fills a need to selling an experience that the product happens to be the vehicle for. It's not just I'm buying a washing machine because I would like to clean my clothes without having to go to a river, or without having to boil water for myself, or without having to scrub things on scrub board, which probably even fewer people still know what those are. I'm buying the washing machine because it will make me happy. Because the people who have this brand of washing machine are doing all sorts of wonderful, exciting stuff in their life, except washing clothes. And therefore, if I buy it, I can be one of those people. I will clone this experience. And when people rushed out to buy these masks, that's what they were looking to do. They wanted to capture the joy that was found in that woman's experience with this mask. And they are doomed to failure. They're doomed. I mean, yes, I'm not trying to take away from the product. I thought the thing's pretty cool too. Like I said, it's really hard to make a Chewbacca noise. And getting one that actually is triggered by your jaw moving sounds pretty cool. But it will not create the happiness in you that was in her. Because her happiness didn't come from a mask. It came from where? Innocence. It came from inside her. The mask was a trigger for it, absolutely. There was an opportunity for her to let that emotion out, for her to let her joy out. It was an opportunity to experience something that she would naturally respond to with happiness and laughter and joy, because that's who she is. It's not what the mask is. It's not what the item is. In the Har, the sweet Torah portion, as well as throughout biblical and rabbinic literature, we are told over and over again, the stuff doesn't matter. The land doesn't matter. Your property doesn't matter. You do not own it. It is not yours. And if you think this is the whole point of everything, you're in trouble. In Pirkei Avot it says, who is happy? Who is rich? Anyone want to fill in that rest of the line? The one who is happy with his portion. The one who is happy with his portion. Not the one who has a portion that makes him happy. Not the one who has X amount of stuff and ticks off certain boxes of material necessity, but the one who is happy regardless of what it is that he or she has. That is who is happy. The book of Kohelet, the book of Ecclesiastes, which we read during the holiday of Sukkot, which if we were all farmers we would recognize is the moment of peak material joy, specifically goes through all the forms of external sensory wealth and other forms of happiness that can be had from the outside world, and crosses them off the list, one after the other, as being vanity of vanity, which doesn't mean it's vanity like I'm looking in the mirror. It means vanity as in it is nothing. It is nothing and brings no lasting effect. Throughout all of the Torah, and all of rabbinic literature, and all of Jewish teachings, we have a very clear explanation of why paying $200 for a Chewbacca mask is not going to make you a happier person. Over and over. And yet, we do. And yet, we continue to think, if I just had X, if I just had Y, if this barrier to my happiness were removed, if that barrier was removed, if this was added to my life, then I would be happy. If only I had a better job. If only I had a car that always worked. If only my house didn't need so many repairs. Or if only my house had an additional room. Or if only we lived in a better neighborhood. Or if only my children gave me more respect. If only the world wasn't such a rotten place. If only my neighbor was a nicer person. If only I had this new gadget, these new clothes, those shoes. Sound familiar? Right? The if onlys are as ridiculous as buying a $200 Chewbacca mask and thinking you will laugh like the woman in the video. Because if the laughter isn't in you, that mask is not going to bring it. And if under some of the worst oppression this world has ever had, both natural and man-made. And we've learned to laugh. And we've learned to have joy. And we've learned to dance at weddings. We've learned to celebrate at birthdays. We've learned to have a beautiful time at circumcisions. Because the joy is in us. We've learned the lessons of our Torah. We've learned the lessons of our sages. And we've learned that you can't count on what is outside to change what is inside. That is the realm of Torah. That is the realm of the Spirit that God has given us. And that's why we have survived for 3,000 years. And yet, in our modern world, our people have become tempted, seduced. The advertisements are so good. The marketing is so compelling. The availability so great for stuff that despite the heritage that we have been given, despite the free gifts of spirit that God has planted within each of us, despite the lessons that our own history has shown that we can learn how to laugh no matter what is happening around us, we are becoming more and more materialistic, more and more dependent upon what is outside rather than in. If any of those if-onlys that I listed sounded at all familiar, we've got work to do. If you've heard them from friends or family, you've got work to do. You have to find your own laugh. It's not going to come with a receipt. It's going to come with an understanding. It's going to come with eyes that are able to fill with tears of joy instead of tears of frustration. And the path is laid out in Torah and through the ways of our people, which is helpful. Shabbat Shalom. So if you haven't seen the video of the laughing Chewbacca lady, please look it up after Shabbat. Not because I'm trying to sell the mask, because she really does represent quite clearly how easy it is to be happy over something so simple. Doesn't mean you need to be happy over the same simple thing, but laughter should come as easily to you as it came to her. Page 354, with joy as well as seriousness, we continue with our Musaf service as we are led by Kathy Swartlow.
So speaking of joy, I'm going to attempt, because I heard this a few months ago and I've been working on it, although I usually tell people I only carry a tune in a bucket. But I'm going to try a different melody for the new Como program in the Kedusha. So just bear with me.
We will be prepared and we will embrace it joyously.
Thank you. Yitgadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'al, Ma'adim Racharite, V'yamlech Ma'chute, V'chayechon V'yomechon V'chayed Chol Beit Yisrael, V'agala U'vizman Kariv V'yimeru. Amen. Ye'esh Shmei Rabbah